If you're trying to get your Shopify site to run faster and you've done some tests and you're being told that you have render blocking resources, this is a tip on how to fix some of that. First, usually I go to Chrome. I go to the website I want to do, and you can do this on any website, and you go to View, Developer, and Tools. Once that opens, you want to look for the tab over here on the right that says Audits and click on Audits. This is the Lighthouse tool in Chrome. Now you can run an audit in a mobile environment or a desktop environment. I'm going to run it in the mobile environment. And once it's finished, it's going to give you a score on certain areas: performance, accessibility, best practices, and SEO. Now, specifically, what I'm looking for today is render blocking resources. You click on here, and it'll give you a list of the resources that they are saying are blocking or slowing your site down. Now, what you want to do is limit these resources being loaded to only the pages that need them. And you can do that by jumping over to your Shopify, going to Online Store, go to Themes, and then, of course, you wouldn't want to do this on a live site. You always want to do this on you duplicate your site and then play around with it. But you want to go to Edit Code. And once that's open, you want to look in your theme.liquid file. Now, this is stuff that gets loaded on every single page of the website. And this is how Shopify works. And this is how apps work when you add an app to Shopify. Now, the theme is your specific theme is going to load things, and your app's going to load things. Now, not everything needs to be loaded on every single page. There's a feature here called Fancy Box right here. And this used to be one of the resources that I was being told is slowing down the site. Now, on this theme, on this site, Fancy Box really only affects product pages. Fancy Box is the image carousel. It's the Lightbox feature. It's all this stuff. That's what the Fancy Box is, and it's part of this theme. Now, I don't need it to run on any other page but the product page, because the blogs and the static pages and the collection pages don't use this feature. So to limit that, I go to the code and I tell it with an if-else statement. You don't need to know a lot of code to be able to tweak this stuff. Just say, if this template contains product, load this, which means it won't load it on any other page, so it won't be slowing down your site. The second thing is these product options. These options here are controlled by a plugin made by a company called Bold. Bold makes a lot of plugins for Shopify. And what they do is they add in these files. These include functionality to your website, but these are added files to every single page of your website. Now, again, this particular app made by Bold only works on the product page and the shopping cart page. So those are the only pages I need them to work on. They were slowing down the site. So I can go in here and I can say, put an if statement, if the template equals product or template equals cart, run this stuff, which means this stuff will not be loaded on any other page. The apps won't do this because they don't want to fool around with this. They just want to sell the app and have it work. So the app developers will stick this in there, and then that way it's kind of foolproof. It's just going to load on every single page, so it should work no matter what. They're trying to make it work in a global sense, whereas you as a developer or a shop owner really want to tweak the site. If this causes any problems, you really haven't changed anything. All you have to do is go in here and delete your if-else statement, and everything will go back to the way it was originally installed and works fine. I also use this for custom stuff. If I've added a custom CSS sheet here for some tweaks I wanted to make to the product page. So I have that as an asset and I want to load that, but I only want to load that again on the products page. So I do that. I can put it in here, and then it just loads from here, and it only loads on the products pages, and I'm good to go. There's some stuff that's going to slow down the page that you can't get away from, like the main CSS file. You can't get away from that. This is the main style page, and they're saying, well, it's slowing down the site. Well, there's nothing you can do about that, because that if you don't load that, the site's not going to look right. And also, some apps are loading things that you can't get away from. Again, this is a filter app that's been added to the site, and it adds this include file here, which includes a style sheet, and it also includes JavaScript and a bunch of other things, but you can't not run that on every single page, because technically that's the search box in the header of every single page, so you have to run that. Now, if you look at this code and you go, wow, this is really hard to find, I I've gone to I've scanned the site, and I found out that they're telling me, a file is blocking things. And if you're a little bit intimidated by looking at all this code, it's an easy way of finding something. Just copy whatever file name they're saying is blocking it. And when you're in the code here, if you're on a PC and you do Command F, it'll bring up a Finder window. They really should have a button, but the Command F will bring up, and if you copy in the name of the file, it'll highlight it in the resource. It'll highlight it in the code, and so you can find it easily. If you're on a PC, it'll be Control F. On a Mac, it's Command F. But that really, really helps a lot when you're trying to find something in a code-heavy page like this. So a quick wrap-up, go to page you want to test, go to View, go to Developer, Inspection Tools, get your audit, and you can rerun a second audit. I'll do an audit on desktop this time. And now if I wanted to run a second, I have my stuff here and I can look at all my things. Render blocking, it'll tell me what's going on here that's slowing it down. Now if I want to run a second audit, I can just go up here to this drop down and run new audit, and I can run another audit. Let's say I want to do one for mobile, and I can now run one on mobile. And every time you run these things, you'll get different numbers. Like the last time was like 40 something, 49, something like that. Now it's 61. So these things jump around a little bit, so don't be too freaked out about it. But they're good to get general information. They always run best the second time they run, so I don't know which number you should really believe. But you go here, you find out what resources are blocking you or slowing you down, and then you jump over here, go to your theme, find what file it is, and then do some research in your theme in your website to see if it's something that you can limit it to just one page or just a few pages with a simple if-else statement. I hope that helped, and happy Shopifying.